Yeah. Traction control, there was none. The Honda S2000 fears no other drop-top roadster. With its 250 horsepower four-cylinder and 9,000 revolutions, it sits atop the small sports car food chain. It looks condescendingly down its sharp nose at Miatas, MR2s, Mercedes SLK 230s, Toyota 86s, as if to say, all you poor people sports cars, you can't be me. Look at your pathetic resale value. I, S2000, am going to look at myself in cars and bids. That's my mirror, and as I do, I will touch myself to all the closing bid auction prices. I fear no car, except that one, that thing. Anyway, go ahead, click on the link in the description or go to go.getentertowin.com/regularcars. Buy a mug or a digital download, and one of you is going home with your very own BMW Z3 M-Roadster, which is really just an E63 M3 that's indulging in its micro fetish. That Bavarian monstrosity. I am an S2000 and I don't like thinking about how that thing comes with a straight six. I don't like its wide staggered wheel sizes, its hidden quad headlights, and its central locking from the trunk key latch. And I don't. I really hate. I loathe. I abhor. I detest its flat power curve. I am an S2000 and I hate the Z3 M-Roadster, which is July's giveaway car. This is the S2000's only predator, because BMW outspent Honda. And the more astute among you have already noticed that this BMW Z3 M-Roadster is a 1998 model, and the S2000 debuted in 1999. It's almost like Bavarian Motorwerks knew Honda was fixin' to yell Yokozuna, so BMW positioned itself for a preemptive strike in 1997 by introducing the M variant to the Z3, which debuted 2 years earlier. The E36 M3, that car that even Honda bros agree is good, is praised for its relatively lightweight compared to modern cars, its flat power delivery, and predictable handling, especially in oversteer scenarios. So okay, the E36 M3 is great, but what if, hear me out, what if the E36 M3, but smaller? The E36 M3 weighs 3,131 pounds. A Z3 M-Roadster weighs, also 3,131 pounds. Okay, fine. Well, an E36 has a wheelbase of 106.3 inches, and a Z3M is 96.8 inches. It's there you go. Shorter wheelbase, better turns, or whatever. And this Z3M Roadster is completely stock, even though it has 130,000 miles. Yep, completely untouched. Uh-oh, the box said 10 horsepower. You tried, old man. I mean, okay. This was an old man-owned car, and it was maintained by the book. This is the complete works of Geoffrey Chaucer, the most influential writer of the Anglo-Saxon period, or what some people refer to as emergent English language period. You don't get Shakespeare without Chaucer. You don't get criticism of the church without Chaucer, or a practical understanding of the Arthurian legend without Chaucer. And this is the service manual for a BMW Z3. The same size. Everything you need to keep this shoe-shaped car running like new. And the old man who owned this car had this in the trunk. A Z3 M-Roadster has minimal body lean. And up high in the rev range, Dr. Vanos is actually doing his job for once. And the power delivery remains right where it's supposed to be. So where's the power band in a Z3? Yes. Unlike the S2K, where all the power is above 6,000 RPM, the Z3M has power everywhere. The F20 in Honda's S2000 makes 250 horsepower. The S52 in the US spec Z3M makes 240 horsepower, 10 horsepower less. But the 2-liter 4-cylinder Honda engine only makes 161 pound-feet of torque. The BMW 3.2-liter i6 makes 258 pound-feet of torque at 4,250 RPM, which means in the unideal world of the street, the Z3M has an advantage over the S2K in that it doesn't have to be in precisely the right gear to make all its power. The S52 can pull you out of trouble before an S2K has time to react. I really wish, though, that there was a 6th gear here. Though I know that wide gear ratios are okay with a longer engine. But if GM offered a 6-speed manual in the Corvette, which has an LS V8, why not a 6-speed manual in the Z3M? Maybe it's the same German we know better than you attitude that built in an angry alarm when you leave the lights on, or the non-adjustable steering wheel. I know the S2000 also had a non-adjustable steering wheel. Or the standard BMW towel that comes with its own BMW bag that you are to clip onto your BMW roof and drape over your BMW rear windshield so that the plastic window doesn't scratch when you put the top down. We're BMW. We know how to build a Roadster. We already did it. Here's the latest version. I don't know if this is a design, is a flaw or a feature, but if you want to hang your arm out the window, you have to hit the door lock right here to get it to recess into the door panel. Otherwise, it's going to be jamming you on your tricep. Because the Z3 is slightly older than an S2000, S2000 debuting in 1999 and the Z3 debuted in 1995 with the release of GoldenEye, that camera is really, because it's mid-90s Roadster, the door sills are still quite low. They're the correct angle for you to hang your arm out the window, or rest your arm on the windowsill, or because I'm driving a BMW, I can rest my hand right here on the rear view mirror because I'm not looking behind me anyway. The previous owner put this phone holder here, this magnetic fold holder, and it's really stuck there. I can't get it off. I am on a back road in 5th gear. It's as high as it goes. And because this is a 3.2, okay, it's not a 3.2. It's a 3.153. It's technically on the bigger side of 3.1, so, you know, they called this a 3.2 liter straight 6. Just like Honda with their original 250 Rebel, it's not 250 cc's. It's 233 cc's because they made that engine for that motorcycle by taking the 200 Twin Star and just boring it and stroking it to 233. They called it a 250. So the size of the S52 in this is 3.153, I think. And yes, because we're Americans, or excuse me, because we're North Americans, we don't get the Euro spec version that makes 315 horsepower. We get this. I'm still cruising on a back road in 5th gear, and I'm not wanting for torque at all. Anytime I want it, I put it down, and I'm not even in the torque curve yet. I'm 2,500 RPM. And the large for its car well, large in general, like 3.1 blah, 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 is still a respectable engine size for a straight six. I mean, what was the 2J? 3 liter? This is a little bit more. Granted, no turbos, but up ahead of us is the tail of the hawk. So, up we go. Oh, Ford Explorer XLT Snitchmobile. What are you? You're a black Ford Explorer. Flex fuel, attempting to make a left-hand turn onto State Highway 895. Waiting for you to make that left-hand turn. There you go. And here we go. I don't see any button on the dash to turn off traction control. I wonder if this even has it. There's Vanos. I don't know, man. In real world conditions, this and an S2000, and I almost gave a wave to that, what was that, an E46? Could this honestly hang with an S2000? On a track, I don't think it's possible. I think the S2000 will just outmaneuver this car. But in real life applications, you just have so much more low-end grunt. When you shift these transmissions, you have to mean it. It's not like an S2000 where everything clicks into place so easily. No, this is a BMW. Shift like you mean it. I'm waiting. It's not time yet. It's not time yet. What gear am I in? Third. Am I going to do this all in second? Well, we'll see. We had a big storm last night, so there may still be branches down on this road, but rev match. Oh, that comes alive. Oh, okay. So this is what this is going to be. This is going to be half third, half second gear. Great. Woohoo. I want to keep it, I know it said it has a flat torque curve going all the way up, but I kind of want to keep it in it. And I'm just now approaching the torque curve at 4,000 and a half RPM. I love this road. I should probably put headlights on though. Nice, 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 nice. You don't really know when you're approaching redline, and I'm at 6,000 RPM, redline 6,005, because the straight six is just so butter smooth. The previous owner put the box said 10 horsepower intake on this, I guess to get induction noise, but you don't even hear it. I don't know what the point of that was. Maybe he thought that he could somehow improve on what BMW was doing, so he did it. I mean, if you're gonna tune a BMW, and this kind of goes for all cars, but if you're gonna tune a BMW, you start with the tune. You don't start with bolt-on. Bolt-ons come last. When you get your hands on the real M-Roadster, you'd swear that someone put different suspension on it when they didn't. The body control, the suspension is so firm. There's the tiniest bit of roll and then everything firms up. You tell people that this is a 98. This is a classic car now. You can put classic plates on this, and this thing still handles better than most modern machines, despite its weight. I do not feel like waiting to the next intersection, so we may use the Appalachian Trail parking lot to get this thing turned around. And I wonder if my turning radius, I mean, it is small, but is it small enough to turn around on this road? Nope, no one's using the parking lot. Do I have the ground clearance to turn around here? I am not sure. No one behind me. No one there. I do not turn around the middle of the road. Oop, that's reverse. Yeah. Traction control, there was none. That back end immediately let go. So who was this car really for? Because when I look out over the hood, I see the middle bulge of the hood, which is so Miata, that is so MX-5. But this thing debuted in '95. The C6, the C5 Corvette did not debut until 96 for the 97 model year. So were they trying to go at an older customer base who wanted power, who wanted a convertible, but didn't want a Miata or whatever MG they were calling an MG in 1995, or whatever Lotus was doing? They were filling a niche here for older people who wanted something a little bit more comfortable. But Corvette people will always buy a Corvette, but then there are casual Corvette enthusiasts like myself who could say, okay, I can see the appeal of a convertible Corvette. But again, that's 90s GM making 90s GM interiors, not 90s BMW making a 90s BMW interior that still feels fresh and modern and thought out today. Even the airbag pad isn't very large. So I think that's what they were going for. But in the same way that Corvette owners never really use their power, at least the people who buy them new, they just stab at it for a little bit and say, oh, she's got a lot of muscle. I think the original owners of the M-Roadster would do the same. Would buy it, stab at the throttle from time to time, and never take it to a track. Now, a C5 Corvette will do okay on a track, where this would do so much better. It's predictable. It has way more tire than it needs. Although, as you saw, you can still break it loose. Also, the wind ergonomics, is that a thing? The harshness, noise, and vibration of the wind is fantastic. I know you can see that I am wearing earplugs, and that's just a quirk of my own. When I drive the Galaxy, I wear earplugs, and that's even quieter than this. That's more of a trait I picked up from years of riding motorcycles. I know this sounds weird, but I literally can hear better when I'm in an open-top car with earplugs in. I guess because it attenuates what wind noise there is, so I can pay attention to other road sounds. Now, there's another thing with the acceleration on this. There is no climactic orgasmic peak of it. The power comes on and stays on. It's RPM edging. Unlike an S2000, which builds and builds and builds and breaks at between 8,000 and 9,000 RPM, this just doesn't. You're just using peak power, or within the torque group. I mean, maximum horsepower, the 240 horsepower is at 6,000 RPM. The max torque is like 4,005, but it builds the torque way earlier from 2. You are never, ever, ever waiting for it. Yeah. Oh, the rear end squats down. All right, I can see why the tires are bigger in the rear. You saw me. I just bit my lower lip. That means I liked it, and I just farted. I had to change my pants. I had to change my underwear before I left because I had a fart that was a liar.
Thank you for watching the Z3 review. So to enter to win this awesome BMW Roadster, at go.getenteredtowin.com/regularcars, click the link in the description, buy a mug or digital download, and someone's going to win this James Bond car. And that's going to be what the final video for this car is going to be next Wednesday. We'll discuss this car's influence on the James Bond franchise, because this was the very first Bond car to not be an Aston Martin. Oh, wait. No, wait, I'm wrong. There was the Lotus, wasn't there? Well, technically, there was the AMC Hornet AMX that did the barrel roll flip. Okay, so this is the first Q car to not be British. There we go. That's what we're going to discuss next Wednesday. See you then.